So I was riding a bike right near in the neighborhood, and there's a small stream in my neighborhood, and there's like a long walking path. There's a walking trail. It's like a place where you could just take a walk, stroll down the path, and take a walk or jog in the morning. And there were tons of people there because of the cherry blossoms. Yes. Yep, it's spring, and I think it's going to be the last weekend for people to enjoy the cherry blossoms. It's in full bloom, and I think it's going to go away. The leaves are already falling. Yeah, so if there is like a rain within the next 1 week, I think all the leaves will be gone. But right now, it's in full bloom. It's beautiful. It's like snow. It looks like snow. So yeah, I went out. I went out to ride a bike for about like 30 minutes. So many people. I wasn't able to like, speed up, but still good. Okay, so I have some people coming in. Oh, Patricia, you're coming in from Brazil. Thank you for joining. Okay, so what time is it right now in Brazil? It's 8 p.m. here in Korea. Sharon. Hello, Teji. Oh, actually, I forgot to reply to your Kakao Talk, but I will definitely reply to your message. Sorry for that. Okay. Thank you for your compliment. Yeah, I like my new hairstyle. Yeah, I haven't gotten a proper haircut for a long time, and finally I got it. Finally I got it, and yeah, I'm happy with it. Okay. All right. So today we have another set of TOEIC speaking test. We're going to talk about all 11 questions. Wow, Patricia, it's 8 a.m. in the morning, Friday morning. Wow, thank you so much for joining the show so early. Okay, so let's talk about a test set that comes from last weekend. Yes, actually, I had something else prepared, but I was talking with one of my students, and she actually took the test last Sunday, and she told me about all the questions that she saw on her test. So I quickly made that into a set of tests, and here we are with the actual questions. Not the exact same questions that appeared on the test, but I tried to make them very similar. You know that, right? Okay, so here we go. This is the first part, part one. Guys, have a look at the passage, okay? The name actually appeared in the passage was Caroline, but she says she read it as Carolyn. But actually you have to read it as Caroline. So it's Caroline's Ice Cream Parlor, and they're having 10th anniversary party, okay? So let me read it for you guys. Welcome to the 10th anniversary party of Sweet Caroline's Ice Cream Parlor. We have been striving for the last 10 years to make this place a favorite dessert shop for folks in Forestdale County. Thank you for allowing us the honor of creating fun memories for you, your family, and your friends. Okay. All right. So some tough words. I think like some words that are meant to be tricky, like for example, the word ice cream parlor. It's like the meaning of it is ice cream place, right? An ice cream shop, ice cream store are some words that we are more familiar with, but this passage is using the word parlor, okay? So Sweet Caroline's Ice Cream Parlor. And the word striving, okay? So when there is the T and R together, it sounds more like a CH sound, right? So it's striving. And for the last 10 years to make the place a favorite dessert shop. Now, this is a very famous word. It's not desert, like Mojave Desert. No, it's dessert. So the difference is when it's a desert, like there's lots of sand, no water, the stress goes on the first E. So it's desert. But in this case, it's dessert. So the stress goes on the second E. So it's got to be dessert shop. For folks in Forestdale. That's the name of the county. It's Forest and Dale together. So it's Forestdale. Forestdale. And actually, when the T and the D comes, in order, normally those two syllables, those two consonants are pronounced as one. So it's more like Forestdale. You don't necessarily have to make the T sound. So it's Forestdale. Don't say Forestdale. It's just Forestdale. Forestdale. Okay. Hello, Jennifer. Thank you for coming in. And the word county. Okay. So if I have my students read this passage, I believe 10 out of 10 would read this word as country because you guys are more used to the word country, right? But no, it's county. So it's Forestdale County. Forestdale County. That's the name of that village, the town. Thank you for allowing us the honor of creating fond memories for you. Fond meaning likable, very happy memories for you, your family, and your friends. So those are the three parts, words, phrases in order. Okay. Wow, you're here for the first time? Great to have you on the show. Jennifer, let us know where you are coming from. Oh, well, everybody else, please, I'd love to know where you guys are all coming from. Okay. All right, so that is our first passage. Some words are tricky. Maybe you could get them confused, but I always tell you guys, just be careful. We have the 45 seconds preparation time, so you don't have to be in a hurry. And always remember, for part 1, we have enough time. We have enough time. All right, so let me read it again for you guys. Welcome to the 10th anniversary party of Sweet Caroline's Ice Cream Parlor. We have been striving for the last 10 years to make this place a favorite dessert shop for folks in Forestdale County. Thank you for allowing us the honor of creating fond memories for you, your family, and your friends. Oh, so we have some people from Taiwan. Taiwan! Jennifer's from Taiwan, and we have a person from Japan. Yes, great. Sweet Caroline. Stacey is talking about a song. Yes. Okay, so that was the first passage. I find it, I guess like mid-level. It's not so hard, not such a difficult, passage, but not an easy one. But still, there are some tricky words there, like parlor, striving, or the word Forestdale County could be a little bit hard for beginners to read. And also the word honor, because the H has no sound. It shouldn't be pronounced. So it's not honor, but it's honor. Honor. No H sound. Okay? And Tay, you're from Japan. Okay. Okay, and that is our first passage. Now, moving on to our second passage. Okay, let me read it for you. Thank you for tuning into your daily weather report with Blake Dawson. We are expecting light and moderate rain in some places from Florida up to Virginia. Starting from New Jersey, there is a stationary front bringing rain, ice, and snow along the coast. Please gear up if you are planning an outing this weekend. And now, stay tuned for sports news. All right, that is our second passage. And Rabia Mir, you're from Korea? Okay, so you're Korean, you're just like ID, your nickname is a little bit foreign, right? Okay, so that, I believe, you guys are pretty familiar with the weather forecast, weather report, and, we see the words tuning in, stay tuned, those expressions, we see them all the time. And the name here, the reporter's name is Blake Dawson. Blake Dawson. So it's not so hard to read. It's not black, right? Because it's B-L-A-K-E, so you have to read it Blake. Blake Dawson. Now, when you're, pronouncing the word Dawson, don't say Dawson, Dawson. No, you have to open up your jaw. So it's got to be Dawson. Dawson. Okay, Dawson. Okay. We're expecting light and moderate rain in some places from Florida. Florida, the word Florida, are you guys familiar with that? Because, the former U.S. President, Donald Trump, is living in Florida right now. Florida. So in Korea, and you would say Florida, but in English, it's Florida because there's a stress on O, the vowel O. So it's Florida. Florida up to Virginia. And when you're reading the word Virginia, the stress goes on the second I. Virginia, Virginia. Okay, so reading English names is tricky. That itself is tricky because you gotta know the stress. Not actually, of course, pronunciation is important, but stress is actually trickier. So Florida, Virginia, then the word New Jersey, more familiar word there, New Jersey, and stationery, coast, not cost, it's coast. You gotta close up your mouth. It's coast, along the coast. And outing this weekend, and stay tuned for sports news. Okay, and I would like to make a point on the words like stationary or sports or starting. Now, when S has another consonant following it, ST or SP or SK sound together, those consonants that follow S is a little like, you got to make it like more distinctive. For example, not starting, but starting. Sounds like not sticker, but sticker. So I can only say this in Korean because we have that pronunciation. 한국어로 말하면 스타팅이 아니라 스타팅이죠. 쌍디귿 소리, 그렇죠? 그리고 스쿨이 아니라 school. 우리 꿀처럼 달달 때 꿀, 쌍기역 소리요. 그죠? 그래서 school, starting, stationary. So guys, if you're like Chinese speaker or Japanese speaker, can you understand what I'm trying to say? It's not starting, but it's starting. Starting. It's not sky, but it's sky. The consonant sound is a little bit tougher and harder, stronger, I would say. And not stay, but stay. Okay? All right, now let's look at, what Patricia is saying. Your video is getting very famous here among the nurses. We need TOEIC for immigration process. You do? Well, I know that a lot of nurses in Korea, they want to work in the States. And the only one state in the US, which is New York, New York, is accepting nurses to, submit TOEIC as their English score. It used to be IELTS, which was much tougher, really, really hard to get good score on, IELTS. But now they're replacing it with TOEIC. So TOEIC listening, TOEIC reading, TOEIC speaking, and TOEIC writing can be, submitted instead of IELTS. So a lot of nurses have been contacting me asking how they could get level 7. Yes. So I've been helping out some of them. And they're really excited because, the only hurdle for them to go to New York was the speaking score, which I'm the expert in. Yeah. And on the test, what is the best speed when we are reading the passage? Patricia, I will read this passage for you. And I will show you how long it takes for me to finish this passage. Okay? I'm going to turn on the timer. And actually, it takes me about around 20 seconds, sometimes less than 20 seconds to read my first lap. And then if I have time, I always tell you guys, if I have time remaining, I go for my second or the third lap. But if you guys do not have the gut to do it, don't do it. Just read it once and just stay quiet. So here I go. I'll turn on my timer. Thank you for tuning into your daily weather report with Blake Dawson. We're expecting light and moderate rain in some places from Florida up to Virginia. Starting from New Jersey, there's a stationary front bringing rain, ice, and snow along the coast. Please gear up if you are planning an outing this weekend. And now, stay tuned for sports news. Okay, so you guys can see that I've used up about 25 to 26 seconds to read it this time. The passage is comparatively long. It's not a short passage. There are shorter ones. I can assure you there are shorter passages. But this one is about moderate length, maybe a little bit long, but it's not that long, and it took me about 25 seconds to finish it. So I would say 25 to 30 seconds would be a good speed, okay? Yeah. But I wouldn't recommend you to read it faster. No. I would say it's better to not make mistakes and read it in a moderate speed than to read it too fast. Yes, Rabia, you don't have to read it so fast. Okay, I hope you understand what I'm saying. Hi, Miss Gwen. I studied with your channel and got 110 on speaking and 190 in writing January without extra class. Thank you so much. Okay, now your score tells me DN, Kuyen DN. 110 on speaking means you need to consider, like, having a better sound in English. Okay, because when you got 110, it means that the raters, the person who's giving you the score, couldn't understand your English well. Maybe it wasn't loud enough, maybe the pronunciation was not good enough, or maybe you were using some wrong grammar, or maybe you were using some wrong expressions or words. So your sound, overall, the sound production. First of all, you got to think about that. And second, the grammar and blah, blah, blah. But, it's a speaking test. If you got 190 on writing, you should be getting at least like 150 or 160 on speaking. That's my opinion. Okay. Oh, you got 150. So Rabia's got 150. That was her like the best score. But then it went back down to 130. Okay. So I would say, Rabia, to be honest, when you got 150, you got lucky. Yeah. So some topics on the test, some questions were easier for you. And then you went back down to 130. So I am so sad. I'm so sorry to say your actual level, English level, speaking level would be 130, 140. But then I think you got lucky on that test when you got 150. But there are some ways to get there. Okay, it's not speed, everybody. It's not about speed. And don't compare yourselves to me because I'm like native speaker. I went to America when I was 7. I was there for a long time. I grew up there. I got education there for such a long time. I was in college there. And I've been teaching English for almost like 17, 18, almost 20 years in Korea. I basically speak English all the time, even though I'm still like in Korea. So, yeah. You guys do other stuff, right? You don't speak English. You only speak English when you're like studying TOEIC speaking or studying English. So you got to be practicing all the time. Okay? Don't compare yourselves to me. What you should do is you should try to compare yourself from the past yourself. Okay? Oh, Tay, you got 120 this month speaking. Tay, 120. Okay. All these levels 120, 130, 140, 150. I see, the problem with your score tells me that your sound, the production of how to produce English sound correctly, that's what you guys should work on. Okay, it's not only about the answer, it's not only about the words or the content. Okay, now moving on. It's a picture of two friends. Okay, and sit on this side. All right. So there's nothing so special. Okay, it's nothing special about this picture. Two guys. One is wearing a hat and a yellow shirt and a jacket, and the guy is wearing a jean jacket, denim jacket. Both of them are wearing jeans. Okay, don't talk too much about their outfits. Okay, you should talk about the actions, the verbs, right? The guy is holding up his phone. Both of them are looking at the phone. They're smiling. I think they're having like a video call, right, with somebody. Or looking at some information on the phone. I don't know. On the right side, there are some buildings. On the left side, I can see lots of trees and cars parked along the road. And maybe they're going somewhere. It's so sweet. I didn't realize, but both of them are wearing something yellow and blue. And actually, I used to go to this, elementary school called Killian Elementary School in LA. And the color, our school mascot was koala, and the school mascot color was always blue and yellow. So every Friday, we were supposed to, it's not like mandatory, but we were asked to wear anything blue and yellow. So every Friday it was very stressful for my mom, but like the whole class, we would always like not wear the same outfit, but like all wearing yellow, blue, those matching colors. 130. It's about grammars and like pronunciation. That's it. Grammar and pronunciation. If you're in the like, level 6 range, level 5 and level 5, it's like you got to really work hard on it, your speaking. Your grammar is all wrong. Your, structure, the sentences are quite wrong, and your pronunciation isn't so okay. 130? 130, you're on the right path, but still gotta improve your pronunciation. Level 6. It's the pronunciation and grammar, both. Yeah. Arabia. Okay, 160. If you want to get into level 7 range, your pronunciation's got to be almost like near 80% correct, 80 to 90% correct. Your grammar's got to be 80 to 90% correct. Yes. Jennifer's got 110. Oh, Weenie, good. Thank you for providing us the answer. Picture taken on a street. There are two men. One of the men wearing yellow t-shirt is holding his phone, and the other man is looking at his phone. Yes. Okay, what about this? Well, I can't be a total exact example, but I'm going to give you an example of, it's a wide range, 110, 120, level 5's answer. Okay? Like somebody with level 5 who got level 5 must have spoken like this on the answer. This picture in a street, and then smile, jeans, yellow bag is they walk, and holding phone, and has a okay. So this would be an answer of level 5. It's providing some information that is relevant to the picture, but it's, the person is having a hard time making the information into a sentence, right? And it's me, so it was clear to understand the words, but sometimes, almost all the time, most of the time, it's really hard to understand what they are saying. So that was level 5. Okay? Now, level 6ers. Anybody with level 6? Like there are like different levels, like 130, 140, 150 would do something like this. This picture taken in on a street, and two people is walking, and one friend holding phone, and he's a beard, and he's smiling, and next to by him. Friend is wearing jeans, he's carrying backpack, and in the background there are trees. Now this time, I said a lot more in sentence like form, and you could see that I was trying to form sentences, right? Of course, I purposely made some grammatical mistakes, right? But people at level 6, they know how to make sentences, they know how to create sentences, but when they're creating sentences, they also have to think about the content they're saying. And it gets all mixed up in their head. So sometimes their pronunciation gets wrong, sometimes the grammar is wrong. Things are a little bit messed up. A little bit. Now, level 7. This is a picture taken in a street. And there are two people in this picture. And in the middle of the picture, I can see a man. He's wearing a jean jacket, and he's carrying a backpack. He is looking at a phone that his friend is holding. And next to him, there is a man who is wearing a hat, and he's smiling. And in the background of the picture, there are many cars. Maybe they're happy. Now that is level 7. Okay, I tried to use more complicated, structure, grammar, and I was giving lots of information about the two guys and also about the background. And this is how I would do it, actually. Listen to my answer. This is a picture taken out in the street, and there are two people in this picture who look like friends. One of the guys is wearing a hat. He's wearing a yellow shirt inside a jacket. He's holding a phone, and he's looking at the screen. And next to him, a friend of his is wearing a jean jacket and is also looking at the guy's, smartphone. He's carrying a backpack. And in the background of the picture, I can see lots of trees and cars and some buildings on the right side, and maybe they're having a phone conversation with a friend. Okay, so this is how I would speak when I get level 8, 200. So because you guys are asking a lot about your levels, those are the things like typical answer of each level category. Level 5, you guys have a hard time producing correct sentences. Level 6, you guys do create sentences, but grammar is a bit off. Level 7, you do create sentences, but it's not fast enough. Now, this is when you start to think about your speed, okay? Because you want to become more fluent if you want to become level 8. Okay, now Swan Le Trin, let me look at your answer. This picture was taken outside. There are two people in the middle of the picture. Some cars are parking on the street. Now you see, Swan, when you said some cars are parking on the street, now I can tell by that sentence itself, your level's gonna be level 6, 150. Because when you describe a car, you can't say are parking, but you have to say some cars are parked on the street. You gotta put it in a passive form, not an active form. Okay? And Chi said one of them is holding up the phone, is wearing a white jacket and a hat, while the other is wearing jean jacket and a yellow backpack. Okay, you can't wear a yellow backpack. You can carry a yellow backpack. Okay? All right, so every time you talk about anything in a picture, always talk about the location first. Always, always. Okay? That's why I said in the middle of the picture, there is a man, and I also said next to him, there's another man. So after talking about the location, the next step you should go on to is the outer looks, what they're wearing, what kind of hair color, like how short or long the hair is, or you could talk about the beard. And then lastly, you talk about what they are doing. Okay. Great. From Chi's answer, I can tell that she's almost around level 7, only if she could, say all her answers that she's providing here in the chat room with the right sound of English. Okay? It's speaking. I have to judge your pronunciation actually. Your pronunciation is very important in speaking because you got to have a good delivery. The other person's got to be able to understand what you're saying. Yeah. If he or she cannot understand what you're saying, it doesn't mean anything. It's speaking, right? Hey, now my student or some of my students, they took the same test and they told me the thing here in the middle, in Korean, we call this showcase, right? Koreans guys out there, yeah, we call that showcase, right? Showcase. But no, it's not. It's a display stand. You would say there's a display stand. Okay, so Hein, she says, my time's up when I finish talking about their clothes. Well, then you are not training right. First sentence, okay? Let me show you. First sentence, for every picture, the first sentence should be about where it is, right? This is a picture taken at a bakery. And the second sentence is about how many people are in the picture. So here, there are 2 people, right, in this picture. You don't have to be specific. You don't have to be there's 1 woman and 1 guy in this picture. Just say the number of people. There are 2 people in this picture. And on the right side is where I'm going to go. On the right side of the picture, there's a man. And just talk about just one thing about his looks. Like he is wearing glasses, or you could say he has a beard, or you could say he's wearing a shirt. He's wearing a watch too. You don't have to talk about everything. Just talk about one thing. 혜인님, 하나만 얘기하세요. 너무 많이 말해서 그래요. 하나만, 한 가지만. Okay? Now, he's carrying a basket, right? Shopping basket or basket full of many things. He's carrying a backpack. And guys, got to be clear. He's carrying a basket, but he's holding a basket because he's using his hand, right? He's holding a basket, but he's carrying a backpack. He's not holding his backpack. He's carrying a backpack, okay? And other actions would be like reaching out, and he is about to receive bread. He's about to receive a product. Okay. On the left side of the picture, there's a woman. She's wearing a hat. She's wearing a uniform. She's also wearing glasses. But just talk about one thing. One thing. Okay, Teiji says in Japan it is also called showcase. No, it's a display stand. She is handing over, is what I would say. Handing over bread. She's handing over the bread, to be specific, because it's not all the other bread in front of her, but the bread that we just talked about. Okay, Weenie, there's a man holding a basket, right? He's a customer. That's good. Terrence, this is a picture taken in the supermarket in the left side. Okay, no, it's on the left side of the picture and on the right side of the picture. So on the left, on the right, we use the preposition on the left side of the picture, on the right side of the picture, and in the background of the picture, in the middle of the picture, and in the foreground of the picture. Okay, so you should be careful with the prepositions. She looks like a bakery. No, she looks like a baker. Okay, so word choice like this. She cannot be a bakery because bakery is a place. She's a baker. She's a person, right? She looks like a baker. She's handing over a piece of bread. Or not a piece, but it's actually a loaf. L-O-A-F, a loaf of bread. There's a man who has a beard and wearing glasses. He's holding a basket. Okay, Terrence, looking at your answer, it seems like you have some grammatical mistakes, errors there that's got to be fixed. And also, try to end one sentence. Go sentence by sentence. You're putting too much information in one sentence, okay? Swan Latrin, this is a picture of a bakery store with two people. Okay, too much information there. Make it into two. This is a picture taken in a bakery. There are two people in this picture. Okay, you're putting all the information into one. Not a good way of doing it. On the left side, a baker with glasses is handing over. Okay, again, a baker with glasses handing over. I would make that into two sentences. There's a baker, no, three actually. There's a baker. She's wearing glasses and she is handing over bread because bread is uncountable. You can't say a bread. Okay, the picture shows a supermarket. You can see two people. Jennifer, this picture, she looks like a baker. She's wearing glasses and holding a bread. Okay, guys, again, bread is uncountable. For example, cup is countable. So we can say she is holding a cup. Gwen is holding a cup. But inside, I have coffee today. There's coffee here. Coffee is uncountable. So you have to say she is holding coffee. Can't say she is holding a coffee. Okay? So for part 2, when you're describing a picture, some grammatical points that you gotta remember is, first of all, you gotta think about the numbers, the plural, singular, countable, uncountable. There is one, there are two. Two people are walking, those kind of things. And countable, basket is countable, a bag is countable, a baker is countable, but bread is uncountable. You can't say a bread. You can say a loaf of bread, a piece of bread, or a slice of bread. In this case, it's a loaf of bread. The big bread itself, it hasn't been cut. Okay, and I'm looking at Jimmy Harrian's answer. This is a photo taken in a bakery with two people in the picture, and the man on the right side is holding a basket, and the woman on the left side is a baker is about to receive. Okay, now Jimmy's answer. Jimmy, what you're doing is you're talking about like the guy on the right side, the woman on the left side, and then you're going back to the guy on the right side. I do not recommend doing that. Just finish everything that you want to say about one person, and then move on to the other part of the picture. Okay? Sometimes you get messed up. Okay. Between the two of them, just say between them, there is a long display stand. There's a long display stall. Okay. Many kinds of bread. Many kinds. Or you could say a lot of bread, but you can't say lot of bread. It's a lot of bread, a lot of bread, or lots of bread. Lots of bread is displayed for sale. She's going to give the purchase to her customer. Now, Jennifer's answer sounds more like a written English. It doesn't sound like spoken English. Has a beard and he is carrying a basket. Is reaching out. No, he's not reaching out. He is reaching out, or he is holding out his hand. He is holding out his hand and he is reaching for the bread. He is reaching for the bread. Okay. It's okay. And I do not correct your spellings because in spoken English, spelling doesn't matter. It's all about pronunciation, right? I see some typos here, but spelling is not a big mistake for speaking. It doesn't really matter as long as you know how the word sounds. Okay, so this is my answer, guys. Let me give you two versions, an easier one and one that I would say on the test. Now, this is an easy one. Hold on. This is a picture taken at a bakery, and there are two people in this picture. On the left side of the picture, there is a woman. She is wearing a hat and a uniform, and she is handing over a loaf of bread. On the right side of the picture, there's a man. He has curly hair and a beard, and he's wearing glasses. He is holding a basket, and he's about to receive the bread. And maybe people are having a great time at the bakery. And this answer is good enough to get you level 7. Level 7, 170. Okay? The answer that I said just now is good enough to get level 7. Now, this is the answer that I would provide for level 8. Well, this is a picture taken at a bakery, and I can see two people in this picture. On the right side of the picture, there's a guy who looks like a customer, and he has a beard, he's wearing glasses, he's carrying a backpack and holding a shopping basket. And he is reaching for a loaf of bread. I think he's trying to buy that. And on the left side of the picture, there's a woman who looks like the baker. She's wearing a uniform, and she is about to hand over the bread to the customer. And between them, many items are displayed, and then I got cut off, right? And I wasn't able to provide my last answer, but it doesn't really matter, right? It isn't like essential, it's not crucial. As long as I talked about all the people in the picture. I talked about the guy, I talked about the woman. I got cut off at the very end. I wasn't able to provide the last sentence saying maybe, but it's okay. I'll get level 8 for that answer. I hope you guys are getting the picture. Okay, and Sharon, in front of her, there's a man. He is trying to, not grab, it's, you can't grab some, well, we don't know if he's going to be grabbing it or not, but when you're saying grabbing, you're like, sort of like, putting some power into something, like, grabbing, like you hold the hand and shake your hand. Normally you wouldn't grab somebody's hand. I heard Donald Trump, he always grabs somebody's hand to like show that he's more powerful guy. But grabbing doesn't happen that often in a picture. You would just say he's about to hold the bread or get the bread, take the bread. Okay, you wouldn't say grab. That again, in a bakery, at a bakery are same. It's different, but both are okay. So here, you could say this is a picture taken in a bakery, meaning inside a bakery, right? For that matter, in a bakery is fine. But if you say this is a picture taken at a bakery, it means the location of the picture is bakery. So there's a slight difference to the meaning of it, in a bakery or at a bakery. By the way, you have to say at a bakery. But, basically they're both fine for the answer. Okay. That was part 2, the second picture. Moving on. So today we're going to talk about taking classes at school, which we all have in common, right? I mean, these days there are a lot of kids who are being homeschooled, not going to school and staying home, and your mother or somebody else is teaching you, but pretty much everybody goes to school, right? So here you go. The first question is, do you prefer to take morning classes or evening classes? Why? Okay. Now, when I used to work for like big institutions like, YBM, for example, in Korea, we always got to have like morning classes, which starts as early as 6 a.m. You know why? Those people who goes to work, they want to be a little bit more diligent. They want to use their time wisely, and they want to study before they go to work. So there were some people who would take those 6 a.m. classes or 7 a.m. classes. So when I was just starting to teach English in Korea, like, those like newbies, they have the obligation of opening up those like, classes very early in the morning. I had to do it. So I had to wake up at like 4 a.m. in the morning to, go to my first class that would start at 6:30. It was a hell, but I got through it. I personally, as a teacher, I didn't like it, but I believe for some students, like adults, they want to use their time wisely, so they would take early classes. And obviously, lots of people who are like, office workers, they would like, have to wait until the work finishes and they could take classes in the evening. A lot of grad schools, they have night classes, right? Night programs, night courses, I would say. So if I were to learn something, yeah, when I was taking yoga classes, I was going there in the morning at 7 because I would be too exhausted. I would be too exhausted to do yoga after work. Okay, so Patricia, you work full time and I do not have time for morning classes. Exactly. That's exactly what you could say. Okay. So if any of you are new to TOEIC speaking, for these questions, you should fulfill that time of 15 seconds or 30 seconds. For this first question, you're given 15 seconds, and it is for your best, benefit to speak longer and fulfill that time. So never say just morning classes. Don't ever say just evening classes. You should always provide your answer in a sentence form, in a sentence, and you should give always the reason, because they always give you the tag question saying why, okay? And it is best to speak as much as you can, okay? And it's okay to be cut off. Hey, and Jennifer, Winnie, let's go for Winnie first. I prefer to take evening classes because I think they waking up. I think. Okay, Winnie, you said I think they waking up, but I think you should change that sentence to it is hard to wake up, or it is difficult for me to wake up. Now, one tip for any beginners out there, in English, there's always got to be a subject, right? Subject meaning I am Gwen. I teach English. I like to drink coffee. I like to exercise. There's always got to be a subject. And for spoken English, the preferred subjects are human subject like I, you, he, they, we, or start your sentence with it. It. It is nice. It is good. It is helpful to do something, blah, blah, blah. Or start your sentence with there. THERE. There is a book. There are many people. Then you would never fail to create a sufficient, sentence, which is much better to hear for native speakers, okay? Sharon, I prefer to take a morning class because I'm early bird. I am an early bird, an early bird. I would like to take a breakfast. Now, Sharon, you being an early bird and morning class, there is a relation between those two kinds of information, but take a breakfast. Okay, all of a sudden you talk about breakfast. There's no relation between being an early bird and taking a breakfast and having morning class. I think you need to provide more, information there to make sense. Okay, now Rabbi Amir, I want to do part-time job. No, that's wrong information. I want to work part-time. I want to work part-time in the evening. Terrence, I prefer to take morning class. Sis, ES. When we're talking about something in general, the noun becomes plural. So I prefer to take morning classes. We're talking about something in general. Okay. When I finished morning classes, I got the rest of the day. Can take a rest. I can take a rest for the rest of the day. Okay. Terrence, your grammar. Again, watch out for the grammar. Simon, I do prefer to take morning classes rather than evening classes because in the morning I usually feel more comfortable in class. In that case, I can stay focused on my study. I can stay focused in class. I would like, now, Xuan Li Chen, I would like to taking morning classes. You can't say to taking. It's either to take or I would like taking morning classes. Those two cannot coexist. I like attending evening classes because I'm a night owl. Jimmy, good. I tend to feel sleepy if I wake up too early, but attending evening classes helps me stay alert during the class. Okay. Well, during class, Jimmy, your answer is perfectly fine. Lee, Mr. Lee, or Ms. Lee, I prefer to take morning classes because I am alert in the morning. I am more awake. I am more awake in the morning. Okay. I can think clearly in the morning. Remember things better. It's a more efficient way to learn things, I think. Okay. Jojo, like your name, Jojo, prefer to take evening classes. Less crowded in the evening. It's less crowded. It's usually more crowded in the evening. Responses from teacher right away. Prefer to take morning classes because I'm a morning person. Okay, I am a morning person. Or you can also say I am an early bird. I am an early bird. Okay. In English, when you like to be active in morning, we say I am an early bird. And if you're more active at night, you would say I am a night owl. Okay, try to use those expressions. Good. So that was the first one. I'm going to move on to the second question. The second one is, do you prefer to have a short break or a long break between classes? Now, this is the question. All right. Actually, between classes, I think 1 hour is too long. I think maybe like 15 minutes. 10 minutes is too short, I think. Because even when you're in middle school or high school, 10 minutes, you have to run to the bathroom and then you have to take care of your business and then you have to run back to class. So I think 10 minutes is a little too short. Maybe like 15 to 20 minutes. I think 30 minutes could be a little too long. Yeah, that's my opinion. Share yours. Now, Tay, let me go back to your answer. Let me see. I prefer to take a nighttime class. You don't have to say nighttime class, Tay. You can just say night class because I'm not full-time student. I'm not a full-time student. I go to work in the morning. And I don't have time. Well, I go to work in the morning, so is the right conjunction, right? It's so I don't have time for morning classes. I go to work in the morning. I go to my work in the morning, so I don't have morning classes. So in order to be logical, it's got to be so, not and. Take a note of it, Tay, okay? Okay, so while you guys are working on your answers, today, last time, you guys know that on the live show, we have some people come up on live with me and I give you feedback, right? Well, it seems like when we get when we get a list of people's name and then, you guys have to wait, a lot of people just log out, just like, you guys don't stay online. So what we're going to do is we're going to have like 3 people. We're going to have 3 people come up on the show and I'm going to give you feedback. I'm going to give feedback to 3 people. So not too many people would have to wait. Okay. So if you get in the list of those 3 people, please stay until the end so that you could talk to me and get my feedback in person. Okay. Simon, I prefer to have a short break rather than a long break between classes because during the break, not in break time, during the break, I only want to drink some water so I can stay focused on my studies. Okay? Not in break time, but during the break. During the break. Mr. Lee, it depends on the circumstances. If a class is very long, I will prefer to. You can't say I will prefer. You could say I would prefer to have a longer break. If the class is not a long one, then I prefer a shorter break. I prefer to have a long break, Patricia, instead of a short break. During the long break, I can relax, grab something to eat in the cafeteria, or even go to the bathroom. I won't be in a hurry. That's good, Patricia, you're right. Hongdon, I prefer to take a short break because I don't want to drown in relaxing. I would say lose my focus. I don't want to lose focus. I don't want to be too comfortable or too relaxed. I don't want to be too relaxed or I don't want to be too comfortable. I can focus, not more focus. I can focus more on my studies because in this case, we're talking about studying classes. Weenie, I prefer to have a short break between classes. I think 15 minutes will be enough. I can take a break or go to the bathroom. 15 minutes. Okay, good. It seems like a lot of you are getting the answer. I prefer to have a short break, Arabia, because I want to finish the classes as early as possible. Terrence, I will prefer to have you can't say I will prefer. You could say I would prefer. I would prefer. Because when we use will, means that you guys the thing will happen, right? It's clear that something will happen. That's when we use will for future, events. So this is not a future event, something that we're like assuming that you would like. So I would prefer. I prefer to have a long break. You could say either I would prefer or you could say I would prefer. I prefer or I would prefer. I can take a nap, focusing on my classes. Moreover, I also have time to eat something before continuing another classes. Okay. All right, so I've read most of your answers and it seems like you guys understand that you should choose one and you should provide reason why. Short breaks, mostly because you want to stay focused. You don't want to get too relaxed because you want to, stay with whatever you're doing or whatever you're studying. And longer breaks because you want to grab something to eat, you want to go to the restroom, you want to take a short break, a short nap. Those are the things that you guys want to do during the break time. Hey, I prefer to take short break. I don't want to get sleepy and lose focus. Lose LOSE focus, not lost focus. Okay, and this is the last question. What are some disadvantages of attending a school located far from your hometown? I know the biggest disadvantage of not studying, especially college, like a lot of people, they move out from their hometown because they have to go to a school that's in another city. Like in Korea, most of like the good schools, good colleges, or good universities are in Seoul. And if you want to study in Seoul, a lot of people live in different provinces or different cities. You got to move into this city, which is the most expensive city in Korea. You got to pay the rent, which is around 1 million won per month. It could be a little less, a little more, but that is around let's say $800 or $900 per month. for a very small studio room. Like in that room, there's everything. There's the bathroom, there's a kitchen, there's like it's like a square room, one square room with everything inside. And yeah, on top of that, you have to pay for the gas, the electricity, you have to pay for food, the transportation. Mm, it's expensive. Can I use 15 minutes break or not? That's right. You can say 15-minute break, not 15 minutes without S. You have to say, I like to have a 15-minute break. Because when 15-minute becomes something like an adjective, you shouldn't be using S. It's the same as a 3-year-old girl. You don't say 3 years old girl. You have to say 3-year-old girl. Okay? So yeah, I think I paid a lot for the rent when I was in college, and before I moved to my current house, I had to pay rent for more than like 15 years. And rent is crazy in Seoul. So that's one problem. And also, like when you're living with your parents, like in Korea, it's quite common for people to live with their parents before they get married. So these days, a lot of folks are getting married at a later age, and some people don't even want to get married because, marriage, you have to pay a lot for a marriage. Not only the money, but you have to like, sacrifice your personal life. So people prefer to stay single. And I would say if you live with your parents as single, you can save a lot of money because your mom and dad, they're paying the rent. They're paying the rent. Mom's gonna provide you with food, although they could be nagging all the time. They're gonna say, "Hey, when are you gonna, get married? When are you gonna get a job and support you, provide for yourself? When are you gonna, they're gonna keep nagging." But still, you can save some money. Yeah. But if you have to go out from your hometown and live alone, you know, that's when you gotta be able to support yourself. You gotta make money, or yeah, just have to spend more money. That's it. Hmm. So here goes. Patricia says there are a lot of disadvantages of living far from school. Living far? No, no, no. Patricia, I think you got the question wrong. Disadvantages of attending a school located far from your hometown. Simon, there are some disadvantages to attending a school located far from my hometown. Take me, for example, when I was a high school student, my school was located about 1 hour away from my house by driving, by car. Don't say by driving, but by car. Jimmy, the disadvantages of studying in a different city is that you have to pay more for rent and living expenses. Exactly, exactly. Which often leads to a lower standard of living. Okay, Jimmy, I like your answer, but your answer sounds a little bit like written English. It doesn't sound like, spoken English. Of course, you're writing right now, so you could sound like written English, but when you're talking, you could be a little bit casual, bit more casual. Okay. Simon, so I need to spend more time commuting to my school, commuting to school. It was a waste of my time. So there aren't some disadvantages to attending a school. Okay. So there aren't some disadvantages? There aren't? There are many. Isn't that what you're trying to say, Simon? And Winnie, I think there are a lot of disadvantages of attending a school located far from my hometown. For example, during my senior high school period, I spent a lot of time taking the MRT. Ah. And also, I can't get enough sleep, so I felt sleepy at school. Okay. Arabia, first, it's too expensive for a living. Second, I feel lonely too much. Okay, so Arabia, it's clear those two are the reasons. But I wouldn't say it's good to provide two, three, four, five, six reasons. A good answer would be just one reason with a good example. Okay, so if you want to say it's too expensive, talk about the rent. Okay, talk about the rent, how much you have to pay every month, and how you're going to get the money. And if you want to talk about feeling lonely, talk about your friends. Like in your hometown, you have your hometown friends, but when you're in a new city, you don't have friends. Talk about that, okay? It's not how many reasons you could provide. It's about giving one good reason and one good example. Okay, and Lee, major disadvantage is that it is time consuming to commute from my place to school. It will take me a lot of time to wait to transfer from different transportations. Be so exhausted after I even get to school. Okay, that's right, Simon. Typo, no problem. Typo is not a problem. Parents, there are a lot of disadvantages. Most of all, it need to spend more time. I need to spend more time. I need to spend more money on the commute. So you need to wake up, or you need to spend. The subject shouldn't be it. It's you. Catch the bus. When I was a college student, my school was far away from me, so I need to spend 1.5 hours. Okay, guys, a lot of Koreans, I believe a lot of Japanese and a lot of Taiwanese, you guys would say when I was a college student or when I was a middle school student or high school student. But in English, it's more natural to say when I was in college or when I was in high school or when I was in middle school. Okay? You don't necessarily have to say when I was a middle school student. Just say when I was in college or when I was in middle school. That is much more natural. It's not wrong grammatically to say I was a college student, but we say it more in a I was in college. Sven, the most disadvantage, the biggest disadvantage, say the biggest disadvantage is I need to spend a 1.5 hour. The biggest disadvantage is that it is not convenient. Okay, my old friends, he is living. Okay, is it one or many? Because you said my old friends with S. It's a plural. He is living out of town, so every day he has to spend commuting to school. And when the weather was so bad, he had to stay at home and miss classes because his road was slippery. He could not ride the bike himself. Oh, okay. So this is when you guys were in high school or when you guys were in middle school, right? So provide when the story took place. Then it would make sense to talk about it in past tense. But you never said when this happened. So I got a little bit confused in the beginning. There are several disadvantages. Jennifer says, I need to spend lots of time and energy on commuting, and this is exhausting. When I finally come to school, it'll be hard to focus on classes. Okay? Now, I will give you my answer, all three of them in a row. The first question, I'm going to go back to the first one. Do you prefer to take morning classes or evening classes? I would say I prefer to take morning classes because I like to socialize with my friends, and after work, I prefer to meet my friends or hang out with some of my colleagues. So I prefer to take morning classes and finish all the studies in the morning. Okay, so I said I like to hang out, I like to socialize with my friends after work. So I like to take classes before my work. Okay, and the second one is, do you prefer to take a short break or a long break between classes? Well, I prefer to take a shorter break around like 10 to 15 minutes because I want to get out of school quickly and I want to enjoy my freedom. So I would like to finish all the classes as quickly as possible and leave school. Yeah, that's my reason. I just want to get out of the institution. I want to leave the building where, it's named school, and I just want to be free. Like once you step into the building of school, like school building, there's that pressure, and I don't like it. I don't like the air. So I just want to escape from it. So yeah, I want to finish as quickly as possible or as soon as possible. All right. And the last question would be, what are some disadvantages of attending a school located far from your hometown? Hmm. I think there are so many disadvantages of attending a school located far from my hometown or your hometown, but one of the biggest disadvantages would be, it is very expensive. It would cost you a lot of money. For example, when I was in college, I left my hometown and I went to another city and I had to find a room, I had to pay for my living, and I had to pay so many things, and I had to work part-time for that, and I had to ask money for my parents, so it was a lot of money. Yeah. So yeah, I just talked about one thing, Rabia. Remember, I told you to talk about one thing and give a detailed example. I talked about how, I had to get part-time job. I had to work part-time. I had to ask for money to my parents, and it was a lot of things. It was a lot. Okay. Usually I don't prepare my answers. I do it here very spontaneously because I want to like show you guys how I would say it if I have to, answer these questions at the test site. So I never prepare my answers. But those answers popped up in my head right now, just at the moment when I was trying to talk. So some of the complicated grammar that I used was like as quickly as possible. I said as soon as possible. I want to leave the building as quickly as possible. That sentence would be a little bit challenging for most of you to say. I one of the okay, the way I put it, there are many disadvantages of attending a school, blah blah blah, but one of the biggest disadvantages is, now that is a tricky part. One of plurals, right? One of the biggest disadvantages is, and then it goes back to singular because I was choosing one. One of the biggest disadvantages is, not are. So that is a tricky, sentence that I used my answer. Lena, when I was in university, to save money, I shared a dormitory with 3 other people. There's no privacy at all. Also, it was easily to be distributed when I was studying. Okay. I was disturbed. I was disturbed when I wanted to study, when I was studying. I was disturbed. Okay, is what you're trying to say. Okay, now we're going to move on to part 4. Is that chart? Is it? Okay. It's covering up my face. Okay, moving to the side. Hey, here on the top it says Aspen School of Tourism. It's a school like curriculum. It's showing what kind of classes are provided. Now, if you're not new to TOEIC speaking, if you have been studying TOEIC speaking for a while, you have seen this kind of chart, right? It's not totally new. We've seen this several times, even on our show, and we see the class hours. It's not only one day, it's several days because, you see on the top it says spring semester. Here on the top it says spring semester in the second row. It's from March to June. So you're having these classes, I think like 10 times, at least like more than 6 to 7 times, right? So it's got to be on Mondays instead of saying on Monday. It's many Mondays during that spring semester. From 10 to 1, okay? There will be Global Hospitality Management. You got to be careful reading the name of the class. It's Global Hospitality Management. Not hospital, it's Hospitality Management. The instructor is Lydia Clarkson. You could say it will be taught by Lydia Clarkson, or you could say the instructor is Lydia Clarkson. And in front of instructor, you should add the instructor because it's been chosen. It's an information that has been set. So it's got to be the instructor. The instructor is Lydia Clarkson. Okay, and on Tuesdays from 6 to 9, there will be a class called Japan's Travel and Tourism Industry. Okay, and it will be taught by Yumi Sato. Okay, and on Wednesdays from 10 to 1, you could always say there will be a class called, because that's the name of the class, right? But you can also say you can attend a class called something something. You can participate in a class called something something. Or you can also say you can join a class called something something. Okay? So all those expressions could be used to tell the person that these classes are offered so you can take those classes. Amanda Chen, Peter Brown, and the last one on Fridays from 10 to 1. there will be a travel Japanese 101 class. Travel Japanese. Japanese, it's not Japan, it's Japanese. Japanese is a language, right? So if you take this class, you will learn Japanese. The topic of it is travel Japanese. And whenever there is 101 after the name of a class or name of a course, it means it's the very basic class, 101. Okay? So I see some YouTubers saying love 101, meaning they're going to talk about some things that is related to love and relationship, some basic things about love and relationship. So 101 means basic course, basic. So on Fridays, you can learn like travel Japanese. It's called Travel Japanese 101. So it is for the beginners, or it's a beginner level. You can say it's a beginner level. And it will be taught, not teach, but taught by. It will be taught by. I'm making it into a passive sentence form. It will be taught by Akiko Takahashi. The registration deadline. All right, now this is a fixed date. So when you are presenting the registration deadline, it's going to be the registration deadline is February 10th, Friday, February 10th. And you don't add the preposition on here. You just say the registration deadline is Friday, February 10th. And how much is it? Now, when you're talking about the price, I always tell you guys, don't say the price is blah, 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 but you can say it will cost $285 per semester. It will cost. So you can take everything. Everything will be offered at the price of $285 per semester. So it's about taking all the classes for one semester. And class materials are included. Everything is included. Class materials, this is a plural, so you would say are included. Hey guys, the first question here. Well, first of all, there's an introduction here. Hello, my name is Natasha Jenkins, and I would like to sign up for a course at your school next semester. Before I do, I'd like to get some information about the classes that you offer. So first question, guys, listen up. When is the first day of class and when is the registration deadline? Guys, please type in your answers. When is the first day of class and when is the registration deadline? When is the first day of class and when is the registration deadline? So you need to provide two dates. When is the first day of class and when is the registration deadline? Oh, Mel, why is not teach? Because we're using something called passive. Okay? So if you want to use teach, you can do that. You can do that by saying Aiko Takahashi will teach the class. Aiko Takahashi will teach the class is an active form. But when we're using the passive form, the subject is the class itself. So we're saying it will be taught by Aiko Takahashi. It will be taught by Aiko Takahashi. Mel, let me know if you understood or not, okay? Simon, according to the schedule, the spring semester will take place from March 6th to June 30th, right? And the registration fee, not fee. Simon, what are you doing? It's not the registration fee. It's the registration deadline. Got it mixed up. Patricia, let me check. The first day of the spring semester will be on March 6th, okay? And the registration is due on Friday, February 10th. Keep it in mind. Okay. Now, hey, the first semester will be first day. Okay, good. But actually, when you're going to say the first day, you don't have to necessarily use the preposition on. You just say the first day is March 6th. The first day is March 6th. But if you say it will start, you could say it will start on March 6th. It will start on March 6th. Okay, Winnie, the first date of class is March 6th and the registration deadline is Friday, February 10th. You're right. Rabia, well, it will start on March 6th. The registration deadline is February 10th. Now, Rabia's got it right. Now, guys, if you are a little bit confused about whether to use the future tense or the present tense, both are okay. Both are fine because this is something that will happen in the future. That's why we can use a future tense. And this is just the information, right? We're giving, this whole thing is giving some information. And when we're providing information, we could always use present tense. That's why both are fine. So you could say the first class starts on March 6th, or you could say the first class will start on March 6th. Okay, Elena, the spring semester will start on March 6th. The registration deadline is Friday, February 10th. Okay, so Patricia, I hope you understand why you shouldn't say the first day will be on March 6th. Okay, to be exact, it's got to be the first day will be March 6th. The first class will be taking place. Now, Jennifer, you got it too far. You got too much there. The first class will take place, not will be taking place. Will take place on March 6th. And the registration deadline is, without on, do not say on. The registration deadline is Friday, February 10th. Okay? So when we're saying the first date is something, the last date is something, you do not say it with on. You don't use the preposition on. But if you are using a verb, for example, like it will start on a date, it will finish on a date, that's when you use the preposition on. Okay. The second question, guys. I was told that the registration fee is $275 per person. Does that include everything for the classes that you offer throughout the course? Now, you got to be careful. This is a tricky question. Again, I was told that the registration fee is $275 per semester. Does that include everything for the classes that you offer throughout the course? I was told that the registration fee is $275 per semester. Does it include everything for the classes that you offer throughout the course? Okay, share your answers with us. Sharon, the first date of class is March 6th and the registration deadline is Friday, February 10th. You are correct. Okay, again, guys, the second question is, I was told that the registration fee is $275 per semester. Does that include everything for the classes that you offer throughout the course? Oh, Simon's got the first answer here. I'm sorry, but you have the wrong information. The registration fee is $285 per semester, and the class materials will be included. Wow, Simon, you got every single thing right in that answer. It was a perfect answer. Okay? Nothing to be fixed. That's right. I said it in the question. The person says $275. Now that's a wrong one, right? That's wrong information. So you got to fix that, and you have to mention something about the class material. So Simon's got it right. Thais Felicio, hello. Welcome to the show. Jennifer, not actually. Actually, no. Actually, no. The registration fee will be $285 per semester and class materials are included. Okay. Don't say not actually, just say actually no. Actually, no is better. Patricia, I'm sorry, you got the wrong information. Actually, the registration fee costs $285 per semester and all class... No, it's not classes materials. It's all class materials. Okay, we're making plural for materials, not classes. So all class materials are included. Okay, Patricia? Terrence, I'm sorry that you got the wrong information. It will cost $285 per semester, and sure, the class materials are included. You see in the chart, it's given plural. It's class materials, Terrence. Okay, class materials are included because it's many classes. There are many classes here. So I guess that's why it's plural. That makes sense. Mel, actually, the registration fee is $285 for each semester. And yes, class materials are included. Winnie, I'm sorry about it. Well, I think you got it wrong. Okay, not all wrong information. First of all, information is uncountable. I know there is so much information out there, but information is uncountable. You can never say a information or uninformation or information z. So when you say many information, that's wrong. There's a lot of information. So you got the wrong information. Okay? And class materials are included. Rabia, well, I think you have the wrong information. Actually, it costs $285 per semester. Class materials are included. You got it right. Lena, I'm afraid that you got the wrong information. It costs $285. Okay. Rabia answer. Lena, I was reading your answer. I think it was right. Why'd you raise it? I'm afraid that you got the wrong information. It'll cost. Okay, all class materials are included. Yeah, your answer is right, Lena. And that's wrong information. You have to pay per semester. Now, per equals 1. So it's not semesters, but it's semester without an S. And you have to say class materials are included. Okay? This is also a passive form. Class materials are included. Please keep that in mind. Good. Wow, you guys are good at this. Oops. Now, moving on to the last question for this part. The last one is, I'm interested in learning more about Japan and their tourism industry. Could you please tell me all the classes that would be helpful for people like me? Okay, so this test actually dealt with, Japan and Japanese tourism industry, okay? So I am interested in learning more about Japan and their tourism industry. Could you please tell me all the classes that would be helpful for people like me? Is the question. Sharon, I'm sorry, you get a wrong information. No, it's not you get. That person already has it, so it's got to be you got. Iana Ramos, hello. I'm from Korea. There are a lot of people from Brazil here right now. Yes, I've seen a couple here. You get a wrong information. Again, no without you got the wrong information. Okay, and Sharon, the registration fee is or registration fee costs. It's either got to be one of the two, is or costs. You cannot use both. Again, the last question. I'm interested in learning more about Japan and their tourism industry. Could you please tell me all the classes that would be helpful for people like me? Is the last question. And it's so traditional, it's so typical that there will be two things included for this answer, right? You don't necessarily have to think. It's always two items, right? It's always two. This is a big clue here. I'm giving you a hint. This coffee is lukewarm. It's like so disgusting. It's not cold. It's not like hot. It's like lukewarm. It's like room temperature coffee. But I'm drinking it because I have no option. And I'm drinking this coffee because I'm waiting for you guys to upload the answer for the last one. Which again is, I'm interested in learning more about Japan and their tourism industry. Could you please tell me all the classes that would be helpful for people like me? Oh, okay, finally, Winnie. Well, there will be a Japanese class every Fridays from 10 to 1. The class name is called Travel Japanese 101. It is for beginners and the instructor is Aiko Takahashi. Okay, Winnie, when we use, you're so right about trying to use the word every because it's happening every Friday, right? But if you want to use every, you have to leave out S. Okay? Every always goes with a singular noun. You know the word every day? You don't say every days, right? So you have to say, well, there will be a Japanese class every Friday without an S from 10 to 1. Hey, Simon, there are two classes. One of them is Japan's travel and tourism industry class. Okay. The instructor will be Yumi Sato and it will take place on Tuesday. Okay, if you're going to say just simply on Tuesday, you got to say on Tuesday with an S. The other is Travel Japanese 101 class. Okay, Simon? Patricia, of course, there are two classes that will be a good fit for you. First is Japan's tourism and industry. Okay, now Japan's travel and tourism industry is the title, is the name of the class. So you gotta either say there will be a class called Japan's travel and tourism industry, or you have to say there will be Japan's travel and tourism industry class. But you can't just say the title of the class. Okay, and Tay, there are two Japanese classes. When you say two Japanese classes, it means that there are two classes where you can learn the Japanese language, okay, which is not true. So what you are trying to say is there are two classes related to Japan, or maybe you could say there are two classes about Japan, okay? Or there are two classes where you can learn more about Japan. You can't say there are two Japanese classes. Jennifer, sure, there are two classes. First on Tuesdays, good. Good. There will be a class on Japan's travel and tourism industry led by Yuma Sato. Oh, it's Yumi. Okay, but anyway, wow, you got it right. Class led by Jennifer. That's perfect. And this class will, but it's not will be start, it's will start. No B, just will start at 6 a.m. Really? 6 p.m. No, you're going somewhere really south. Okay. It's not 6 a.m., it's 6 p.m. And then Simon, it is for beginner level. No, Simon, you have to say it is for the beginners, or you could say it is a beginner level. Okay, again, it is for the beginners, or you could say it's a beginner level. It is a beginner level. Or it's a beginner level class. You can also say that. It is a beginner level class. Okay. Hey, there are two classes about Japan. The first one is Japan's tourism. Okay, again, Japan's travel and tourism class. On Tuesdays from 6 to 9. And the second one is Travel Japanese 101 class for beginners by Aiko. Hey, Ian, your answer is good, except you have to say the first one is Japan's travel and tourism class. The Trin, let me check. There are two classes. Firstly, from 6 to 9, there will be a class. There will be a class. They will, yeah, it's, you know, it will happen so many times, but you wouldn't say classes. Okay, it will happen multiple times, but you would have to say there will be a class on Japan's travel and tourism industry. It will be taught by. Okay, Xuan Le Trin, the travel Japanese class. Again, it can't be plural, it's got to be singular. It will happen multiple times, but it's just one class. I know, Jennifer, it's so funny. 6 a.m.? I told you about 6 a.m. classes. I hate them. Terrence, okay, there are two classes about Japan. The first one is on Tuesdays from 6 to 9. The class name is Japan's Travel and Tourism Industry, and the instructor's name is Yumi Sato. Very clear. Terrence, again, the second one is on Fridays. You left out S. It will start at 10 a.m. and will finish at 1 p.m. The class name is Travel Japanese 101, and it is for beginners. The instructor's name is Aiko Takahashi. Welcome to enjoy. Okay. Second. There is a class called Travel for Beginners led by Aiko Takahashi. It will take place on Fridays. Okay, now Patricia, you got it right. Patricia's answer is correct. Well, among all the answers, I think Terrence Wang's answer is the best answer provided here for the last question, guys. Okay, so look at Terrence Wang's answer, and I would say this one could bring you any level higher than 7. If you say it correctly, okay? All right. So we're about to start our last question, question 11. And before we start, I'm going to, we have uploaded the link where you could click in order to participate in the live feedback session, right? So after I finish the last question, which will start just in a minute now, you guys, any of you could participate in our live session. And I told you I'm not going to have like a whole bunch of people waiting until I get to their turn, but I will take 3 people, any 3 volunteers who wishes to be on the show, okay? And you speak in front of all of us, and I will give you live feedback. And you only will be talking to me, and you'll get Gwen's feedback. So any of you is welcome to join. And any of you, just click on that link provided here. It's www.gwenlab.biz/feedback. And if you click on it, there will be some kind of an invitation note, and then you write your email address, and then we send you an invitation link. You click and you're in the room. Okay? It sounds a little bit complicated, but it isn't. Just send us your email address to that link, and oh, we already have a participant. It's Patty Lian, right? Patty Lian, PATYLYANE. Patricia. Oh, it's Patricia. Okay, it's Patricia. Sorry. So you're going to be on the show, Patricia. Be there. You're going to be the first one. All right. But I'm going to move on to talk about the last question. I'm going to quickly finish the last question, and I'm going to see you guys and give you live feedback. Okay, the last question is, if you were to give feedback to your colleague in order to improve their work productivity, what would you like to talk about? Okay. Now, it's a new kind of format, but it's basically asking the same thing, okay? First one is communication skills. The second one, work motivation. Third one, teamwork. Okay. So if you were to give feedback to your colleague in order to improve their work productivity, what would you like to talk about? First, communication skills, obviously, right? Work motivation, teamwork. Obviously, we need all 3 things, right? Weenie, you're the second one on the list. Weenie. Yes. So first, it's going to be Patricia. Second, it's going to be Weenie. Now we have the last spot, one last spot remaining. Okay? Communication skills, work motivation, teamwork. Now, you have to give feedback to your colleague. You're working at ABC company, and your colleague is having some problems, you got to give them some feedback. Talk about their communication skills, talk about their work motivation, give them some motivation, or talk about teamwork, like being able to work, having the ability to cooperate with the team members. That's really important when working in a company, right? Simon is the last runner-up. Okay. All right, so we have the list completed. It's Patricia, Weenie, and Simon. And I'm going to quickly finish up this last part, and we're going to move on to the live feedback session. But guys, work on the last question, okay? If you were to give feedback to your colleague in order to improve their work productivity, what would you like to talk about? Tadashi, finally, you're speaking. You know what, Tadashi? Tadashi and I are friends on this messenger program called Kakao in Korea. And he sends me some pictures of Japan from time to time. And he sent me a picture of like beautiful flowers that are blooming in Japan right now. And after you sent me those pictures, I was like just walking around. I ride bike all the time. And I saw so many flowers in Korea too. And I wanted to stop and take a picture and to send it to you. And I have taken some pictures, but I forgot to send it to you. Okay. And this is a very funny picture of, hold on. Where is it? Okay. So the day after you sent me the last photo of that picture, I found this small tree between the buildings. Two buildings, there was this tree, and it didn't look pretty or beautiful, actually, but it looked really sad. Can you see? There's this one tree, and the flowers blooming in the middle of two tall buildings. It looks so sad. I wanted to send it to you, but I was on bike and I was just like, riding my bike on my way to the lab, so I forgot to send it to you. But Tadashi, I'd like to talk about teamwork because it's always helpful. I work at a video editing company as a team leader. However, we weren't good at working together as a team. We always had problems. So I decided to have a talk with my team members. I gave them some feedback about how to improve teamwork skills. Then our teamwork skills started improving. Now we can solve problems together. We can share ideas with each other. Last week, we made the best video in 5 years at the company. Really? My team was awarded by the company. This is a great example, Tadashi. Yeah. And he's a proud level 8. He has level 8. He's like a perfect scorer. Yeah, that's good. You can also say we talked about team spirit. Team spirit. That's the spirit that you got to have in order to work in a team, work as a team member, right? We talked about the team spirit. We talked about some team spirit or teamwork know-hows and skills. So yeah, so we were able to achieve our goal. That's great. Fan Min thought, if I were given the chance to discuss more about a specific topic to improve our, okay, now fam, the first sentence you're saying here is too long, okay? You don't necessarily have to read the full, everything on screen, okay? I recommend just making it short. I would say, I would like to talk about something. Just finish your first sentence short because, you got so many things to talk about after that. So I wouldn't, waste time reading everything on the screen. It is important. Some of my coworkers don't even know how to write an email with a proper subject, which make it really hard to find it afterward, which makes it, because I think you're talking about one email. I think I would like to talk about teamwork if I were to give, okay, again, Weenie, you wrote, you're talking too much from what's given on the screen and it's not going to earn you any point, okay? Just make it short. I would like to talk about something. That's a good start, okay? You don't have to you don't have to read too much off the screen. Keep it short. Hmm. What is there for communication skills? Hmm. Well, fam, I think you have a point there because email, we normally communicate, via email when we're working. So you got to know how to write proper, title. You got to know how to deliver information clearly so there wouldn't be misunderstandings and miscommunication. And those are very important. And work motivation, I think motivation is also important because that's what keeps you work hard. That's what keeps you going, right? A lot of companies or teams, they have a goal and they want to achieve the goal because they will get some kind of a reward at the end. And like what Tadashi said, at the end of the whole project, they made the best video. They were awarded. They get some kind of a reward. There's a reward system. So yeah, I think that's important. And I I think if I were to talk about something, I would say teamwork. I think teamwork is very important. Like one person doing this and one person doing that, it wouldn't create much result. If you want a greater result, everybody's got to be focusing in one direction, right? So I think teamwork is also important. Weenie, for example, I have a team homework with my classmates last month. I have, and then last month. Now you see, it's about the tense. If it was last month, you have to say, I had a teamwork. I had a homework. I had a team project. Okay, I had. At first, we had a fight with each other since we didn't have consensus. Okay, you guys had a fight. We had an argument. We had an argument. However, discussed for a while and collaborated. That's good. Okay, you're using some good words there. I'd like to talk about communication skills, especially on how to write a professional email. For example, my coworkers don't write email titles properly, and it makes it really hard to, makes it really hard to keep track. Okay. Now, fam, if you simplify the story that you would like to provide as an example like this, now you can't fulfill that 1 minute. I see the point. I'm getting the point here, but your answer is just too condensed. Everything, all the information is there. It's just that it's just compact. You just gotta be you gotta spread out the information. You gotta spread out the story. You gotta stretch it out, make it a longer story. Okay. So how I do it is I talk about the name of the company, which is ABC. I talk about the name of the department, marketing department. I talk about my position, which is a newbie. I talk about my coworkers, the names Tom, John, Will, everybody. And I talk about a certain project. I talk about the problem that we had at that time. And I talk about what kind of meetings we had. And we went to Starbucks maybe to have a meeting, very casual meeting. We talk about the problem. And after that, I give the result. Okay? Okay, Trin. Sometimes I also hold some activities to help them bond together. As a result, our team always got a big sales and had more also. Okay, now, Swan Trin, I've got a problem with your answer. Sometimes it's a past tense. Sometimes you're using the present tense. So it's going back and forth. You got to be sure which tense you're using right now. Okay, that's why I like to say something like last year. I like to say last month or last semester, because if you put last in your example story, you can always stay focused with only one tense, which is past tense. Going back and forth, it's really, really confusing, and it's really hard for the speaker to keep track of what tense that he or she is using. Okay. And we were always happy when we went to work with each other. We were always happy to work with each other. It would be another way of saying it. Okay. Jimmy, I would like to talk about teamwork because improving work productivity needs teamwork. So it's important to gather everyone into one goal. Everyone needs to do their job perfectly, even understand. You know what, guys? I'll give you one tip here. I know why it's taking you guys so long to type in your answer, because you guys are being creative. You guys are being so creative. You guys are doing your best to create an answer for this, question. But you shouldn't be creative. You shouldn't work so hard on your answers for the test, okay? I mean, if you're trying to learn how to speak a language, it's a different story. But we are trying to get ready for a test. And if you want to ace this test, if you want to get a better score, then you shouldn't be creative. You should have just one story that you can use for this answer, for that question, for this answer. And that's how I formulate my answer. And that's why once I start speaking my answer, you guys would be all familiar with what I talk about, because I always use the same example over and over again. Okay. So stay tuned. I'm going to share my answer with you. Tadashi, your answer is totally fake. Your video has never been rewarded. Okay, for your information, guys, Tadashi has his own channel on YouTube. Go check it out. I really love his videos. It's got that subtle energy. It's very smooth, very quiet and calm. It's got that Japanese vibe. Japan has that very Zen vibe, and Tadashi's videos have that Zen vibe. So go check it out on his YouTube channel. Yeah, I've been there several times, Tadashi, you know. I checked out your videos, not only on Instagram, but on your YouTube channel. You got quite a bit of followers there too. And everyone can help each other with each others know each other when something goes wrong. Okay? Okay. So, this is how I'm going to say it. Which one should I go with? Work motivation or teamwork, communication skills? Work motivation. Okay, I'm gonna go with the teamwork. All right. So this is I'm gonna say it. Listen to my answer, guys. I would like to talk about teamwork if I were to give feedback, and there are several reasons to support my opinion. And most of all, I think it is very important if we're going to improve our work productivity as a team. For example, last year I got a job at ABC company and I worked in the marketing department and there were lots of team projects. Well, actually, I was a newbie and I didn't have lots of experience and knowledge and I didn't know what to do. So I wasn't able to, help my team members whenever I participated in a team project. Well, one day my team leader, Tom, called me out and he wanted to have some coffee break with me. And he took me to Starbucks and he talked about teamwork and team spirit and how we should work as a team. And he gave me lots of, examples and tips and advice. And after that conversation, I was able to work harder as a team member and it was helpful for the productivity of our team. And that's why I think so. Oh my gosh. I shouldn't have talked about Starbucks. I think I went too far. It was hard to close up my answer, wrap up my answer towards the end of the time because when I realized that I only have 5 seconds remaining, I was like not sure if I would be able to finish up my answer, but I did somehow. I said it was helpful for the team productivity. Okay. So that's how I closed up the answer. Now, whenever I have to talk about work situation, whenever I have to talk about colleagues, like work matters, anything related to work, I always go for ABC company, marketing department, and I'm always the newbie and the team leader is Tom. Okay? Guys, you shouldn't be so creative. You got to take this word seriously. You got to take my words seriously and do not create your answers. Okay? You're not an author here. We're not training to become an author. We're training here to speak more words, more content, okay? So in order to talk more or in order to prove that you can talk a lot, you shouldn't be creative, okay? Because that's something that's going to need time. It needs time. When you're writing something, even when you're writing your journal, your daily diary, you need time. 45 seconds is not enough. So just have your story ready, take it to the test, and just say it. Just speak your answer. You got to have the story already ready in your hand by the time you're at the test center. You get it? Okay. I hope you guys got it. All right. Now we're going to have people on our show. And I'll be talking to Patricia first. We had a lot of volunteers today. It's a pity that I can only have 3 people. I will only have 3 people. You know what? We're gonna switch the screen, so I won't be on screen for several seconds or maybe up to a minute. But don't worry, I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just here. Don't worry, I'm here. You guys hear my voice, right? We're switching to another system. The system is a different one. So we're trying to get that on this whole YouTube streaming system. And yeah, and the first person who will be in the chat room will be Patricia. And yeah, Patricia, by now you should have gotten the invitation note. No, not yet. No, we're sending it right now. We're putting in your address and we're about to click the send button. Yes. So once you get the invitation, you gotta keep checking your email. You gotta keep checking your email. I'm back here. Okay. So you gotta keep checking your email, and when you click when you click the email, you will enter this room, the hidden room, the secret room that everybody wants to come. It's so popular, but it's so hidden and secret. So not everybody can come. Oh, we just clicked the send button. So Patricia, you should have the mail by now. You should check the email right now. And I'm gonna have Patricia give us the last answer to question 11. Yes, Patricia, you're gonna be here and you're gonna give us the last answer to the last question. Part 6, please, no, part 5, the one that used to be part 6. Give us part 5. Patricia, I have this gut feeling that you'll be able to do it. Yes, Patricia's here. Hi. Oh my gosh, she's here. Patricia, I can see your thumbnail, but I can't see your face live. Where are you? Oh my gosh, she's here. She's here. She is here.
Because I think I'm having some problems with my camera. I don't know.
Okay. Well, you know what? We can hear you, so I think it's fine. All right, so Patricia?
Oh, so can I read the passage instead because I wasn't prepared for this one?
Okay, sure, no problem. But what about a picture then? Do you think you can describe a picture? Okay, so give me the first picture, please, instead of part 5. Great.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so we're going to go with the first picture out of the 2.
All right.
Okay, so Patricia, once you see the timer going down, you can start talking your answer, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, all right, so here goes the timer. Hold on a second.
So I cannot see the timer. So
okay, hold on. It's
let me go back to my. Yeah, we cannot see the timer.
Hold on a second. I just clicked it. You can't see the timer?
No.
Can't see the timer. Hold on a second. Okay. Well, then I will give you my phone timer. Hold on. We're gonna go use the old way. Okay. All right. So you can see my phone, right?
Yes, I can see.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Please describe the picture. Go.
So this is a picture taken outside. There are 2 people in this picture. They look like friends. On the left side of this picture, I can see a man. He's wearing a hat and holding his phone while he's smiling. On the other side of the picture, I can see a man as well. He has a beard and he's watching his phone. On the background, I can see some trees and cars parked at the street.
Okay, so that was 30 seconds. All right, that was good. Now I'm going to point out 3 things from your answer. Okay, every time when you're trying to transition from like different sentences, for example, he has a beard and he is holding, they got to be different. Or he is wearing a hat and while he is holding a phone, it's actually different because when you're talking about what he's wearing, it's a state, what he's like wearing as a clothes, and what he's doing is a different thing. So it's better to separate those two kinds of information. And also you said he is watching the phone. The guy on the right, he said he is watching the phone. But you can't say he's watching the phone because when you're watching something, you're watching a game or you're watching TV, but you're not watching phone. You're looking at the phone. Okay. And lastly, when you said the word parked, in English, you shouldn't say parked, but you pronounced it as parked, right? It's parked. So those are the 3 things that I wanted to point out about your answer. But your English is fluent enough, so I'm pretty sure you would get like high level 7, or sometimes if you're lucky, you might get level 8, right?
That's so good because my test will be on on Monday. So
Oh, okay. So
I'm very nervous.
have you ever
That's why I
taken the
want to
test?
participate. Sorry?
Have you ever taken the test?
No, it will be my first time.
Okay, I'm pretty sure you will get level 7 or higher, even level 8 if you're lucky. Pretty sure.
Oh, thank you so much, Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
Your videos is helping me a lot. Are
Okay,
helping me a lot.
well, be confident, and I think you should prepare a little bit for the last question, the last part. If you're ready for that, I'm pretty sure it's going to be all fine, okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you for participating. Okay, so that was Patricia. And guys, when she was talking, she's very fluent. You know, a lot of people from like South America or Europe, they're more used to like language which is very similar to English. So unlike Koreans, Japanese, Vietnamese, or Taiwanese, they speak a little bit more fluent. So even if they make minor like grammatical mistakes, it doesn't like really show. But still I was able to point out some mistakes that she made, but overall she's fluency is much better than most of us Asians. So yeah, I think she's going to get level 7 or even level 8 if the questions are easier. Yes. The second person we're going to invite is Weenie. So Weenie, you're here. Hello. I'm waiting for you to speak so I can talk to you.
Okay.
Okay,
Can you
Weenie.
hear me?
I can hear you. We can hear you. It's just that I can't see your face.
Because my internet has some problems,
Okay.
so
It's fine. It's fine. No obligation. Okay, so Winnie, which part? Oh, I can see you now. Okay. So, which part do you want to do? Which part?
I think no matter which part,
Okay.
I can
Then,
try.
all right. Then let's try part 1. I'm going to have you read a passage, okay?
Okay.
All right, so this is the first passage of part 1. So whenever you're ready, please read the passage for us.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a second.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, I can see your face now. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, please read.
Okay, welcome to the 10th anniversary party of Sweet Caroling's Ice Cream Parlor. We have been striving for the last 10 years to make this place a favorite dessert shop for folks in Forstall Country. Thank you for allowing us the honor of creating fond memories for you, your family, and your friends.
Okay. Winnie, have you ever taken the TOEIC speaking test?
Now, this is my first time.
Okay, when is your test?
Maybe for April 16th.
April 16th. Okay. Now, while you're practicing for your upcoming test, I have one thing that you could do. I have one tip for you. I think it's better to use a straw. This is a straw that I have with my coffee right now. Use a straw and try to bite on the straw when you're reading, especially for part 1. For example,
Okay.
Welcome to the 10th anniversary party of Sweet Caroline's Ice Cream Parlor. We have been sharing for the last 10 years. Now, the reason why I'm telling you to do this is because sometimes your pronunciation is unclear, especially when you are saying some vowel sounds. For example, the word Caroline, it's I, Caroline. Can you repeat after me? Caroline.
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 Okay. Or the word, which one was it? Okay, favorite. Can you repeat? Favorite.
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 Okay, these are some vowels like I or A vowels, where you have to split out, like you have to open your mouth wider. So that's why I was telling you to bite on a straw when you're reading. And the word county, you read it wrong. It's not country, it's county, right? And
I think maybe I was too nervous.
Yes. And even when you're at the test site, you get really nervous. So I ask my students to just relax. Don't get too nervous. It's not like life or death kind of situation. So just relax and to be more easy on yourself. And when you were reading the word dessert, you had the stress wrong. It's dessert shop, dessert. And yeah, the words parlor, you pronounced it really clearly, parlor. And fond could have been a little bit clear, more clear. Fond memories. So overall, I was thinking, oh, it would be better to have a clearer sound for especially the vowels. So one thing I recommend is bite on the straw when you're reading for part 1, and it could help you open your mouth more widely when you're reading or speaking English in general. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for participating.
Thank you.
Today, the live session is so smooth. All right, lastly, we're going to have Simon come up on this the show. And Simon, well, I hope you could do the last part 5. Share your answer for part 5 with us. It would be interesting to hear someone else's answer for part 5. That's the part where you could show the real, like, you know, your English skills levels or whatever, like, you know, English you have. So it's really meaningful to do a part 5 here on live show. I know it's not, your answer's not going to be perfect. I hope you could do it. Okay, we're waiting for Simon to accept our invitation. Accept the invitation and come on in. Okay, I think the timer's ready this time. It's just that we're waiting for Simon to come to the show. Enter the room, the hidden room. Oh, hello.
Hello.
Hello, Simon. So you're coming from Taiwan?
Hello, teacher.
Yes, hello. Okay, so Simon, can you introduce yourself to us?
Okay, and my name is Simon, and I'm Taiwanese.
Yes. Which part of Taiwan are you coming from?
New Taipei City.
Okay, I see. And why are you getting ready for TOEIC speaking?
I'm looking for a job right now.
Okay. So what is your goal? Which level do you want to get?
Level 7 maybe.
Level 7. It sounds like, you know, just from some of the words that you're speaking, you should be able to get level 7 sooner or later, okay? So,
Okay, thank you.
Simon, do you think you could do the last part 5, for us?
Okay.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to give you 1 minute. The question is, if you were to give feedback to your colleague in order to improve their work productivity, what would you like to talk about? Communication skills, work motivation, or teamwork? Give specific reasons and details to support your opinion. Ready?
Okay.
Set, go.
Okay. It is a very interesting and complicated topic. People may have different opinions depending on their own backgrounds and their personalities. When it comes to me, I would like to talk about communication skills. Take me, for example. I'm a high-speed rail driver now. When I was a student driver, my instructor told me I need to improve my communication skills because sometimes maybe we will face some emergency situations. We need to deal with the problem immediately. At that time, our communication skills are very, very important. This is the same as the normal workplace. Communication skill is one of the important reasons that can help the company grow. So if I have the opportunity, I would like to talk about communication skills. There are a lot of advantages.
Wow. You know, I'm impressed. I'm really impressed. First of all, your English is really, really good. Okay.
Thank you, teacher.
And second of
I'm
all,
a little nervous.
oh no. Even you being nervous, you still spoke a very good answer. I mean, I'm pretty sure most of the people right here, right now, if they're participating in this live show, they must be very impressed. And have you ever taken the test, Simon?
No, never.
Okay. Well, you know what? I'm gonna give you my answer. I'm gonna give you that you are sure to get level 7 on your first test.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank you, teacher.
I'm pretty sure you'll get level 7 and even like a level like 7 higher grade, like 7 180. Because your English is very understandable, very, you know, it's very easy to comprehend, understand. And your answer was logical. It really made sense. And everything you did was perfect. Your grammar is great. And being Taiwan, you're speaking Chinese, right? Because you're speaking Chinese. I think you're very like you know how to make the right stress for each word in English.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is one big advantage. Yeah, because us
Okay.
Koreans and Japanese, we have a hard time understanding the stress of English words, but your English is great.
Thank you, teacher.
Okay, so just practice a little bit more with my videos, and I'm pretty sure you'll get level 7. Okay?
Okay, thank you, teacher.
Okay, thank you for participating. Bye-bye. Wow. Wow, I was impressed. His English is really, really good. Yeah. Like I just said, guys, us in Korean or in Japanese, I'm not like 100% sure about Japanese, but when we speak, we do not care much about like stress when we're speaking our mother tongue language, like Korean or Japanese. But Chinese, it's all about stress, right? They have those 4 stress tones that they have to keep whenever they speak one like letter or something. So his English was very easy to understand because his stress for each English word was very, very clear. That was really good. Oh, impressive. I'm pretty sure he's going to get level 7, even level 8 on his first test. H. Sin, hi teacher, I'm from Taiwan and I'm very thankful for your videos. They are useful for me to practice speaking. I kept watching your videos and practice, especially you reached B2 level. Congratulations. Well, guys, that's it for the month of March. I'm sorry for changing the schedule. On the last show, I said that we were supposed to be having the show last Friday, but I changed it to this Friday. So we're having the show on the last day of March this month. But for the next month, we're going to have the show supposedly on the 21st of April. Okay, so on April, I will see you guys on the 21st. And like always, I'll be coming back with a new set of TOEIC speaking tests, and I will be having the live session. So if you feel comfortable enough or confident enough to speak English in front of many people globally, please do not hesitate to participate. And I will talk to you guys soon. Oh, and Teji, thank you for the compliment. Well, yeah, you've seen many different kinds of my hairstyle, right? And I'm gonna send you back my feedback on Kakao, so wait for that. And guys, until then, keep safe, be safe, keep your health, be healthy, and I'll see you in April. Ciao, bye.